Folks, welcome to this week's Current Events and Bible Study. I know it's Wednesday, and I know it's completely off kilter what it usually is, but our weather's been kind of up and down here. We haven't had any winter. When we have any winter, it happens on weekends. So we're here today to try to get you caught up on some things and share some things with you in current events and start a Bible study that I don't think you're going to hear anywhere else on the sacred honor to bear arms. The sacred duty to wear arms, the sacred duty to bear arms. It is a duty. It's not a right, it's a duty. So anyway, we'll get that covered in a little bit, but first let's start off with current events, and I want to start on the lighter side like I do once in a while. I want to read to you a couple stickers here. Stealing someone's coffee, Phil, is called mugging.
Mugging?
Yeah. The other day I held the door open for a clown. He was a nice jester. No matter how much you push the envelope, it's still stationary.
Yep.
Energizer Bunny arrested, charged with battery. I put my grandma on speed dial. I call it Instagram. Now I'm going to tell you a couple true stories that I shared with people before. But my middle son, listen folks, I want to start with some humor because the stuff don't get any prettier than this. My middle son was just a little guy, just tying up his head when I was laying in bed, was even with my head, just a little guy. We were potty training. We were wearing training shorts. Remember the underwear, but they're training shorts. And they had flies in them, just like a regular pair of shorts. And he came in that day, he talked to me, and said, Jamie, you got your shorts on backward. Take them off, turn them around, put them back on. Oh, Daddy. No, really, your shorts on backward. Take them off, turn them, put them back on. So he took them off, lay them down, turned himself around, put them back on the same way. So he told me, he called that day, he said, Dad, if you think that was good, so wait till I tell you this, a true story. A little boy walked in, his daddy, he said, Dad, my ears hurt. And Daddy says, it hurt on the inside or the outside? Yeah, the boy went outside and back in, he said, both. True story. I mean, I tell you, babies and children are priceless, the things they do. They're totally innocent, but you know.
But they take it so literally.
Absolutely. All the children we've watched over the years and the stuff they can come up with are just absolutely for you.
And the memories forever.
Memories forever. The precious golden nuggets of life.
And I want to read one verse to you out of Psalms 94. And I want to ask you this question because this isn't the Bible. He's asking us a question. One verse. And I was talking to Daniel Brinkman last night, you know, with Power Hour and New Manner Foods, and we talked about different things. And I brought it up. I said, I want to tell you something, Daniel. Silence is not golden, it's yellow. He said, wow, can I use that? I said, sure, I don't care. Silence is not golden, it's yellow. If you need to speak, you don't, you're a coward. Mm-hmm. But God asks us point blank in Psalm 94, verse 16, who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the works of iniquity? And David's asking a question, who's going to help me fight evil? Who's going to help me stand up against the workers of lawlessness? And if we as believers don't stand up against lawlessness and iniquity and outright blatant abominations, who's going to? I mean, do you really think Trump's going to change them?
No. What scripture is that?
Psalms 94, verse 16. Now I'm going to share with you again, starting off on something. These are some sayings that our leaders in the White House and Congress made. Now, these are actually statements they made. Obama, back in 2008, said, I have campaigned in all 57 states. Y'all have heard that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Finally admitting to his Muslim faith after entering the White House as a Christian, referred to the 57 Islamic states. So, obviously, we were duped as usual. House Majority Leader Nancy Pelosi, she's 78 years old when this happened, was with onset dementia, said in 2006, you don't need God anymore, you have the Democrats. House member Sheila Jackson, boy, she's a work of art, not one of the brightest bulbs in the array, said in 2016, homicide is a leading cause of murder. I'm not making this up, this really happened. Another House member, Hank Johnson from Georgia, sat in a House committee meeting and told the members that if too many people were placed on the base in Guam, that the island would tip over and capsize in the ocean. Yeah. I remember that. I can't, anyway. The comical Joe Biden, always second fiddle, in 2015 said no ordinary American cares about constitutional rights. Sad part is it's right. Most of them don't know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Senator Liz Warren, having an abortion is no different than having one's tonsils removed.
Oh.
And the latest joke in D.C., Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, who has never read any founding document for our nation, said in 2018, owning guns is not a right. If it were a right, it would be in the Constitution.
Apparently he never read it.
They need adult supervision.
Oh, they do. In 1998, Hillary Clinton said of his sexual predator husband, Bill Clinton, who molested over 42 women who charged him with rape or molestation, Hillary said, Bill is the greatest husband and father I know. No one is more faithful, true, and honest than him.
Coming from a witch.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the most brilliantly illiterate House members, largemouth bass Maxine Waters, in 2017 said, my fear be that if North Korea nukes us, well, then that Trump, he's going to get us in war. Finally, and his troubles be to pick on Nancy Pelosi, but she said in 2019, you need to vote for the Democrats, otherwise the undocumented illegal aliens will lose their rights.
And this one that said you got to vote for Obamacare to see what's in it. Remember?
That's Pelosi.
Was that Pelosi too? Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the world of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the way of some funny and also good news, Glacier National Park quietly removes its Gorma 2020 sign. This is a true story. In May 30, 2019, St. Mary, Montana, a piece of the Glacier Park National Park had begun quietly removing and altering signs in government literature which told visitors that the park's glaciers were all expected to be disappeared by either 2020 or 2030. In recent years, the National Park Service prominently featured brochures, signs, and films which seem to be scrambling to hide or replace their previous hysterical claims while avoiding any notice to the public that the claims were inaccurate. Teams from Lucinda Spooner University visiting the park each September have noted that GNP's most famous glaciers, such as the Grinnell Glacier and the Jackson Glacier, appear to have been growing, not shrinking, since 2010. So they actually grew 25% over the last decade. Yeah. So they had sneak signs out.
Mm-hmm.
And real science finds that carbon dioxide's effect on climates are negligible. Climate change activists love to insist that carbon dioxide is behind global warming, and they're made a sport out of refuting claims to the contrary. However, it's getting hard to defend their delusional stance, as more than 100 different scientific papers and counting show that carbon dioxide's effect on the climate is actually quite small.
Yeah.
Now, here's the sad part of all this. 7-year-old children left psychologically terrorized after hearing Greta Thunberg's speech. Children have been coming home from school afraid for the future, afraid for their lives. Some kids now believe they have less than 10 years to live because of something that just happened, that's just been pounded in their heads, a political dogma called climate change. It's scaring the children.
That's right.
But yet Obama bought a property right on the ocean in Martha's Vineyard.
Yes.
And then in 10 years, his mansion, $15 million mansion, is going to be underwater. I doubt it.
What you going to say, Phil?
Well, when we were growing up, it was getting nuked. Remember, hiding under your desk?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Duck and cover.
I remember that.
I remember that, crawling under your desk and ducking. Yeah.
Yeah, that was going to save us all.
Yeah, it was. Now, this you already know. Liberty University President Jerry Falwell Jr. and Justice was on Fox News that morning, welcoming Virginia counties to join our state. You probably saw that. I played that last night on the clip on the program from Dave Hodges, Common Sense. And West Virginia gets so little notice, it's really good. Most of the time we get, you dumb old hillbilly, that's how we talk about us. But Hodges said, I'm very proud of West Virginia and the stance that you're taking. And Justice did say, if you want to come join us, we'll protect your Second Amendment rights. Mm-hmm. And counties all over the state are now become Second Amendment sanctuaries. Cities are too. And my son Jamie works on the power lines and poles in Charleston area now. In Charleston, said he's seeing a whole lot more open carry in Charleston.
Our county just approved to be a sanctuary county.
Are you in Upshur? Or
Upshur, yeah.
Yeah, Upshur did, right.
Trump become first president in history to speak at March for Life. Hurrah, hurrah! But behind the scenes, he funded Planned Parenthood more than any president in history. Although he was going to shut down, remember?
Yeah.
He gave them $628,500,000 last year. Think about that. And he was the one that people were going to vote for to stop murdering babies. And there's still hurrah in that guy thinking something special.
Yep.
He is a liar. He's a two-faced liar. You can't trust him for good morning. He's cocky and arrogant. I'm just telling the truth. Now you say, well, are you a Democrat? Nope. I'm not a Republican either. I'm actually a Constitution Party member. But I'm independent. And I haven't voted mainline for president in the last 3 or 4 elections. I will not support something I know is evil. When Trump came out and said before election last time, I'm more pro-gay than Hillary,
Oh,
that did it for me.
when I studied that he was with Knights of Malta, which is a Scottish Rites Freemason, that was enough to say,
So anyway, and people get angry when I say those things. As a matter of fact, I lost support for the radio program because I said those things on the air. But
When any
still,
person gets that high up in politics, you know they're evil.
they just about have to be.
Have to be. Ain't no way out of it. Unless you get a mind change after you get there.
Only in America, the University of Miami is warning students not to use the dismissive phrase, okay, boomer. University officials acknowledge that young people have pent-up frustration about having inherited a planet plagued by the ravages of climate change, but they said that okay, boomer intolerance portrays older folks as out of touch and technologically impaired.
Yeah.
What is this stuff about everybody's feelings being hurt? I mean, isn't that insane?
Yeah.
I thought Scripture taught that the only time a crime is committed is when we physically hurt somebody
Or hurt somebody's property.
or damage the
Yeah,
property.
exactly. Only in America, California classrooms are getting emergency toilets for students to use during school shooting lockdowns. Ventura County teacher Thomas Smith says his classroom's poop bucket illustrates a country's failure to prevent school shootings. Instead, Smith says officials have settled for giving students a bucket to relieve themselves while waiting to see if they will be shot instead of simply imprisoned for their own safety. So we used to have pots when I grew up. Yeah, that's I told you in West Side Night you had a pot.
They had chamber potties.
Yeah, that's right.
When I went camping as a little boy, we always put a pot in the middle of the tent between 8 of us children, and we had to use that.
That's where you went. Good week for painful sacrifices after designer Stella McCartney tweeted a photo of actor Joaquin Phoenix at the Golden Globes and praised him for having chosen to wear the same tux for the entire award season to reduce waste and help save the future of the planet. Can you believe that people actually have these thoughts? Good week for Nick Sandman, the mega hat wearing Covington Catholic High School student who stared down with a Native American elder at the Lincoln Memorial became a national obsession last January. Sandman received an unspecified settlement from CNN, which he'd sued for $275 million for vilifying and bullying him. Good for him. Bad week for trolling after Donald Trump Jr. posted a photo of himself holding an AR-15 rifle decorated with the Jerusalem cross from the Crusades and decal of Hillary Clinton behind bars. A spokesman for Trump Jr. explained he enjoys triggering humorless liberals. You go figure. I'm just reporting the news. Now, about everywhere you go now, Somersville, you see these pictures, meatless burgers.
Yeah.
And people say they're good.
Full of pesticides.
Not just that, it has 17,000 times more estrogen in it.
Yeah,
All these,
Oh,
Soy's all through it.
Soy, yeah. Soy boy.
Border Patrol agents apprehended citizens of more than 100 countries around the world attempting to cross America's southern border in 2018, including almost 9,000 Indians, 1,000 Chinese nationals, 250 Romanians, 153 Pakistanians, 159 Vietnamese, 15 Albanians, 3 people each from Syria, Taiwan, and two North Koreans. So it's not just Mexicans coming across the border. Since California passed a law in 2018 requiring that every public company headquartered in the state add at least one woman to its board of directors, 103 new women have seats have been created. They had to create new positions to put women on the board. Who give the government's right to tell you who you had to hire?
Yeah.
As nightfall does not come at once, now this is good. This is said by Supreme Court Justice William O. Douglas. As nightfall does not come at once, neither does oppression. In both instances, there's a twilight when everything remains seemingly unchanged.
Yes, sir.
Another the week.
Well, you got a lot of weeks there.
I do.
He's got a lot of catching up on.
And this headline, why Meghan and Harry are fleeing the royals. You know, who cares?
Yeah.
They're people. Are they no better than you and I? It's like that Kobe Bryant got killed in a helicopter crash. They made a god out of him.
Yeah.
Well, he was heavy
No.
Illuminati.
The whole reason we left Britain was no king but King Jesus.
There you go.
And I think the original 13th Amendment was that you couldn't have any title of nobility.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually passed, but,
They disappeared.
it disappeared, yeah.
But I hear this thing, makes this big deal, and I hate that Kobe Bryant got killed. I hope he was a born again man, but I seriously doubt it.
No, he was Freemason.
But I really don't like somebody being
He
killed.
got accused of being a rapist.
Yeah, he did. But why make him a god before the people? Only in America, the conservative group 1 Million Moms wants Burger King to cancel a commercial in which a man says, "Damn, that tastes good," after trying to change meatless burger. The group said Burger King should have chosen to edit out the cuss word, which is extremely destructive and damaging to impressionable children. Go figure. What's the first cuss word in Going to Win, remember? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a...
I don't give a damn,
Yeah.
yeah. It probably does damn you eating that thing anyway.
It probably does. An Oregon woman is suing the Mormon church for informing the police that her husband was molesting their daughter. The woman, unnamed to protect her daughter, says her husband confessed to a church group to repent for his sins. A group member told police, and her husband was sentenced to 15 years in prison. The woman wants $9.5 million to compensate for her husband's lost earnings, companionship, society, love, and affection. She was protecting him for raping her daughter. But Russ Dizdar has been investigating the Amish now for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, they've uncovered a lot of stuff. Now, soon coming out in the news, you'll hear it soon. Wit and wisdom. It is better to scream silence. It's better to scream. Silence is a real crime against humanity.
Mm-hmm. Sin of omission.
Science gathers knowledge faster than society gathers wisdom. Ain't that the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Any comments so far, Dick?
Nope.
One more of the week. Supreme Court may allow public aid to religious schools. They may start using taxes to pay for Christian schools, religious schools, just say Christian. And that's good and that's bad.
That's right.
It gets the money you might need, but it also
Control.
get your hands in control.
Yeah,
Right,
but it's
gangs.
more bad, it's gonna be good.
Only in America, a deep man is suing Pornhub.com because some of his X-rated videos lack subtitles. Yaroslav Service of Brooklyn claims that a lack of closed captions violates Americans with Disabilities Act, prevents him from fully enjoying such titles as Hot Step Aunt Babysits Disobedient Nephew. Pornhub responded that we do have a closed caption category.
No, they don't.
They don't have a closed caption category? I don't know. There's some...
I'll tell you a story. I was looking at some articles on Russia Today, and the person who wrote the article made some comments about Pornhub. So I went to Google, or my search engine, and I put in the word Pornhub, seeing if I could find some more literature on it. It's full-blown pornography. Any child could open it up, don't have to edge, they don't have to ask any questions. It's full-blown, in your face.
In Lowe's, Somerville store, in Lowe's, Somerville now, probably other stores too. They have computers on refrigerators and everything you can program in. They actually have computers on there. And people have been logging in Pornhub.com, so if you give a punch a button, it may come up and everybody can see it. True story. A proposed housing development in San Francisco would include tiny underground sleeping pods that could rent for $1,350 a month. The subterranean windowless pods would be only slightly larger than a king-size mattress, but could appeal to young workers who can't afford the sky-high rents of above-ground San Francisco. I can see this living arrangement isn't for everyone, concedes developer Chris Elsley. I don't think I want to live under the ground in a hub. In a home.
It kind of reminds me of a mausoleum.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at what they're paying for rent.
Ridiculous. And our governor's guilty of this, and I wonder why. 18 Republican governors, including ours, have asked for more refugees in their states.
What?
Yep.
Yep, ours has, I remember that.
Yep.
They're building them a community outside of Charleston.
Yeah.
There's no justice in that.
No common sense in it. But why? Why? We want a multicultural society which is destroying itself.
It's already multicultural.
It is. DHS Secretary, now listen to this, Department of Homeland Security, allowing citizens to get regular driver's licenses puts people at risk. A few weeks ago, DHS took absurdity to a whole new level in New Jersey. DHS told residents that allowing people that an alternative to real ID driver's license will put citizens and police officers' lives at risk. Why? Because the state had the audacity to ignore Homeland Security and TSA by giving residents a choice between real ID driver's license and regular licenses that we have been using for approximately 107 years. DHS and TSA and law enforcement continuously cry wolf whenever a state pushes back against real ID. Appropriately named acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf was quoted by New Jersey 101.5 as saying, "These types of laws make it easier for terrorists and criminals to obtain fraudulent documents and also prevent DHS investigators from accessing important records that help them take down child pornography and human trafficking rings and combat everything from terrorism to drug smuggling." Swift said that in Monday's statement. DHS is good crying wolf. It's a good crying wolf that they expect the public to believe that only terrorists, criminals, child pornographers, human traffickers, and drug smugglers will seek regular driver's license. You see, they make a bad guy out of you because you don't want to go along with the crowd there.
Yeah.
But see,
That wouldn't be happening if these states wouldn't be giving illegals.
well, I can go to Oklahoma City and drop $40 to the Mexicans, and they can come back with a driver's license that's so authentic I can't tell the difference between an Oklahoma City driver's license or Oklahoma State license or the copy.
The humble office ID badge is about to be unrecognizable. Plastic cards may soon give way to biometric systems, microchip implants, gait recognition, and other technologies that aim to improve security, generate health data, and monitor workers. I had Deborah Travaris on the program Monday night. And remember we watched the video years ago with the sprinkling chips in the air? Remember that? She said that technology is almost on the verge of coming out right now. Well, you breathe them. You don't even know you breathe them. They sprinkle them in the air, particles in the air that are actually chips that will,
Nanobots.
yeah, nanobots basically. They're chips that you'll be able to read you wherever you are by the computers. Truth. Now it's going to be in the air. You're going to breathe and not even know them. Anyway, for many employees, the workday starts by swiping a plastic ID card to enter the office. But employers can always be sure who's holding the card. The humble ID badge is starting to be replaced by biometric ID systems, microchip implants, and tools that monitor workers' gaits or typing habits. Technologies that might not only make workplaces more secure and easier to navigate, but also generate personalized health and productivity data. Do you feel like a cow that's being owned and prodded?
Human resource.
Yeah. It's easy to see why some employers are already using technologies like face and iris scans, which are more difficult to spoof than standard plastic ID cards. Cameras scan and record the face of employees and temporary contractors, allowing the workers to bypass turnstiles. Companies can easily reconfigure existing office cameras with face recognition technology. When a person leaves a job, the employer can tag the person's face so cameras block the re-entrance. The technology is catching on at companies like with large workforces. Construction firms, for example, regularly send new workers to building sites and need a method to easily track who's there, says Sean Moore, Chief Executive of TrueFace, a facial recognition provider. He declined to name companies using TrueFace. This, folks, is the beast system at work completely.
It's a badge.
You know, it's a time coming where you won't have any privacy unless you live somewhere in the hills and never leave that place. And then you'll be tracked in space. Students suffer separation anxiety after schools take smartphones during class. And you know, laugh about that, but I can promise right now that I've seen that in people. If you take away their phones, they won't last no time. They start getting tensed up. I'm serious. And you sit in a room with them and they're continually on their phone, spinning up through the phone.
Yeah.
I'll tell you it's true.
I could do that in the waiting room. It's all to see him doing
I
that.
seen that at the laundry last Saturday.
Yeah.
People just sitting there with their phones, waiting for the laundry to get
Now,
done.
according to WSJ, teachers are dealing with a consequence that nobody ever could have imagined when taking kids' phones in order to provide a distraction-free learning environment, separation anxiety. Teachers across the U.S. are comparing notes on what the best ways to manage this anxiety are. Some of them allow students to physically hold their phones in pouches that they can't open during class. Others let students charge their phones at stations in class instead of having to leave them alone in their lockers. Alone, like a phone's a living person. Some teachers even offer extra credit to students for being able to part with the phones during class. This is really unbelievable. This is addictive. South Bronx Early College Academy's charter school had to find a way to stop students from sneaking out of class to use little lockers to check their phones. They took the route of buying a foam-like pouches and won't unlock without. Well, anyway, they can paint their own pouches, decorate them if they want to, but they have to keep phone locked. They're sneaking out of class not to smoke, not to go check their phones.
Oh.
Oh my gosh!
I have something. Some years ago, I was at the doctor's office. When I got back home, I had a message on my cell phone because we leave the cell phone at home. We don't have phone and travel. And the person asked me, who said, "You got a cell phone? Why don't you keep it with you?" I said, "Because I choose not to."
Amen. Amen. The University of Missouri has started using an app in order to track students' locations to measure attendance in classes. It's required in Missouri University. If the professors want it, you can't opt out of it. If they want it, you got to sign up to take that class. You have to be tracked on school campus.
It's just like any time I make an appointment with a dentist or a doctor, you get texts and phone calls reminding you.
Yeah.
that you it's like you can't remember anything. I mean, where's the responsibility?
What's that? What's responsibility? What's integrity?
Yeah, right.
What's honesty? But anyway, all of us have gotten used more and more to the idea of being tracked. We know that. It's just a way of life.
Yeah. And it is true, almost. It's hard to remember where you would travel and you'd be out of touch. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
If you do carry your cell phone, and unfortunately, most of the technology I do because I have to do it, not because I want to do it. It's because I'm fighting the beast with the technology, and with this bill of peace and everything. There are times when something comes up and I've got to deal with it.
They got to find you.
So it's But I thought, I used to travel, and I was incognito for a long time, and didn't really.
We didn't know. You didn't think about it. You didn't have
Right.
it. You didn't miss it. You didn't have it.
Right.
Now, let's face it, they're handy to have sometimes. But I lived without one for years. The best thing can happen if all the computers crash and start over again like they had to think for change.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that means that the youngins at the checkout counters couldn't count the change back to you, though. You realize
Well,
that.
you know what I noticed about the younger people, age group in the 20s and 30s. I look at Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, little rallies. The age group is 20 to 30 year olds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't look at them unless I have to.
State forces citizens to pay for stargazing permit to view the night sky in public parks. True story. While many folks stand behind permits for selling, one permit in New York has nothing to do with commerce, has guarded the scrutiny of the Free Thought Project. If citizens of the state wish to look up the sky and view stars at one of New York's public parks, they will first have to obtain a stargazing permit. I mean, I'm serious. This is real. Light pollution across the state of New York makes it hard for folks to highly populated areas to view the night sky. So people who wish to gaze up at the stars at night have to drive many miles away to remote areas. Many of these remote areas are located in taxpayer-funded state parks. In their efforts to squeeze every dime they can from the tax farm, bureaucrats in New York have devised a scheme to extort citizens who wish to use public parks to gaze up at the night sky. This extortion comes in the form of a $35 stargazing permit. If you are out of state and want to gaze upon the night sky from one of these locations, the fee jumps to $60.
Isn't that the same state that charges for how much rain falls on your roof?
I don't know.
No, that
North
was.
Carolina does that.
They got new.
How about New Hampshire, Butch? Remember
View
when I
tax.
saw Ed and Elaine Brown?
Yeah.
And they had a view tax. Their
Yep.
view tax for their house was $4,000 a year. They had to pay for the square footage of windows, and they had a 3.5. It was like a 3.5-story house. It was
Big
a
house.
big, huge house. It was a mansion. But their view tax in the what's that called? Land of the free.
Live free or die.
Live Free or Die state, New Hampshire. By the way, Ed and Elaine Brown get out of prison, I think this month, or it's real soon.
Oh, good.
They're
praise
either
God.
out now or getting out
It's
very
been
soon.
how long? 15 years?
Oh, yeah, it's been
A
over
long
12.
time.
Project Veritas. Bernie Sanders field organizers suggest gulags to help Nazi-fied Trump, BOT, whatever that means. The video begins with Project Veritas journalists asking an individual identified as Sanders organizer Kyle Jurek if mega people could be re-educated if Sanders wins the White House. And folks, I'm going to skip over some words here, but they begin with F. Let's put it that way, okay? So we got to try, Jurek replies. In Nazi Germany, after the fall of the Nazi Party, there was a blank ton of the populace that was blank and Nazified. Germany had to spend billions of dollars to re-educate their blanking people to not be Nazis, he continues. We're probably going to have to do the same blank thing here. That's kind of what all Bernie's whole blank thing, like, hey, free education for everybody because we're going to have to teach you how not to be a blanking Nazi, he added. In another part of the video, Jurek is seen discussing Soviet Union dictator Joseph Stalin's use of gulags, where he claimed that the CIA was overly critical of them. People were actually paid a living wage in the gulags. They had congenial visits in gulags. Gulags are meant for re-education, he says. This is actually a man who was president. He's one of the front runners.
And they got another one said the same thing. Another staffer said the same thing.
They're all communists.
Yep.
I've already covered this, but Planned Parenthood's slaughter rate surges. Abortion giant now responsible for 4 in 10 infants murdered. And as I told you, Trump gave them $628,500,000 last year. You know the pro-life president? Yeah, the one that you think is going to save the country? No, Bernie's doing better. But you trust this man who just gave this organization that murdered babies the most funding ever in history?
Yeah. Nope.
Scientists confirm unborn children feel pain during abortions as early as 12 weeks. Mm-hmm. Scientists finally figured that out. A pro-choice scientist is urging the medical community to put politics aside and consider growing evidence that unborn babies may feel pain as early as 12 weeks of pregnancy. In a January article in the Journal of Medical Ethics, Derbyshire, a professor at the National University of Singapore, an expert in science of pain, said the issue deserves further consideration. Pro-life advocates have been pointing to the evidence of early fetal pain for years with the hopes of persuading the public to recognize the cruelty of abortion. However, abortion activists and pro-abortion researchers routinely dismiss the scientific evidence with dubious claims that unborn babies do not feel pain until at least 24 weeks of pregnancy. Of course, we have black-faced Northam in Virginia wants to kill them about 3 months after they're out of the womb. I don't know what you can comment on that. Texas mother trying to transition her 7-year-old son into a girl loses in court.
Oh my.
Dr. Ann Gugelas, who's the mother of James Younger, originally won her previous court case last October that allowed her to give him hormones that block puberty. But the decision by the jury meant the boy's father, Jeff Younger, who opposed such procedure, had absolutely no say in the son's medical decision. Now that ruling has been overturned by Dallas Judge Mary Brown, ruled on Thursday that both parents should have joint conservatorship over the child, which would mean all decisions would have to be agreed upon by both parents. The man wants the boy to be what he is, a boy. The mother wants the boy to be a girl.
And the boy doesn't want to be a girl.
Unbelievable. This is, I guess, some good news. United Methodist Church finally got some common sense. They plan to split over same-sex marriage.
Right.
Matter of fact, I was talking to one of the guys that work at the gym where I go now. Their pastor was fired because he opposed same-sex marriage. They fired the pastor. The church did, the Methodists did. Mm-hmm. So that's a good sign. But on the other hand, LGBTQ education is now mandatory in New Jersey schools. California orders pastors to push LGBT activism, or else transgender tyranny to become the rule of law. If you don't preach it, we're going to fine you. The Golden State has decided to scrap the First Amendment with the passage of a new resolution that forbids religious leaders from opposing homosexuality from the pulpit.
Oh,
Even Evan Lowe and 36 other members of the California State Assembly were successful in passing ACR 99, as it's officially called, which dictates a Christian pastor, now pay attention to this wording, that's important, which dictates that Christian pastors and others must affirm the religion of LGBTQ before the congregations.
So there's a different religion. So that pastor has to choose Jesus Christ or Lucifer.
Exactly. And then if he goes to Christ, he's breaking the law.
Yeah.
A religion.
And this book will become illegal too.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Not
Yeah.
long from now.
And for those that still like to go to Walmart, which I certainly will never, I haven't been to Walmart for so long, I don't remember when I was in there last time. They're now selling children's books, the children's books of demons. Why in the name of God do you support that store?
Right.
A transgender children's doll believed to be the world's first is going for sale in Russia.
Oh my.
Maybe they're as decadent as we are.
In some areas they have to be. I'm surprised that I over there, to tell you the truth. But this is actually for sale. It'll come here. It's just a matter of time. Pederastic intimacy. Now listen to this. I told you 20 years ago this was going to happen, and I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. University professor lays academic ground for work for legalization of child rape. University of Texas at Austin, Professor Thomas Hubbard has been writing about the concept of pederastic intimacy. That's another word for child rape. An attempt to legalize child rape. Hubbard has written that pederasty, or sexual relations between a man and a boy, was a prominent social phenomenon in numerous ancient Greek cultures. He claims that contemporary American legislation premised on children's incapacity to consent to sexual relations stems from outmoded gender constructions and ideological preoccupation of the late Victorian and progressive era.
Coming to America.
California Democrats introduced a bill to protect pedophiles who lure and sexually abuse innocent children. A handful of leftist politicians in California recently introduced a bill that they claim would end blatant discrimination against LGBTQ young people regarding California's sex offender registry. But the devil is in the details, as the bill would actually protect adult sex offenders who prey upon and assault minors. State Senator Scott Wiener, fix a nice name, and Senator Susan Eggman reportedly co-introduced the legislation dubbed Senate Bill 145, which would explicitly exempt sexual predators who are within 10 years of age of their minor victims from automatically having to register as sex offenders in the state's official database.
Within 10 years.
So you're saying
20 years old can have sex with a 10-year-old.
Yeah, he's a 19 years old, not quite 10, and he's with a 10-year-old.
Yep.
And mommy and daddy can't say no to about it.
Yep. We see what's happening. And Denver Post columnist says he was fired for belief there were only two sexes. The Denver Post most read columnist says he was fired by the newspaper for the belief that there are two sexes. In a Facebook post, John Cordera said he was dismissed because his writings were too insensitive. I'm getting and I'm saying this polite, so damn tired of hearing this stuff about being insensitive. You know, they crucified my Savior because he made people mad. Is that true? He hurt your feelings, Dick.
I know he did.
He offended him by using the father's name.
Well, he offended, yeah, and he called them what you were.
Called them names.
Vipers and Whitemore sepulchres and
Foxes.
yeah. My column is not a soft boy, sticky, sweet NPR style piece with which employees and language now mandate a victim-centric, identity politics-driven media, wrote Cordera. What seemed to be the last straw for my column was my insistence that there are only two sexes, and my frustration that to be inclusive of the transgendered, even that word isn't allowed. We lose our right to free speech. The columnist said that he refused to bend the knee to newspeak, declined to use only the words mandated by the perpetually offended, adding that conservatives are now mandated to use the language of their ideological opponents. I, for one, am sick of this. I don't care. I don't mean to offend people, but if it does, that's their problem.
I'm not politically correct.
Well, it
I
says
do
here-
offend people.
No.
But it says in
I don't
Genesis
care.
chapter 2, verse 23, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall two become one flesh.
But you see, that's a very narrow-minded book. I mean, that's hurt my
Well,
feelings. You know?
I can afford to be narrow-minded. I'm right.
Amen. Illinois become the 20th state now, to force taxpayers to foot bill for transgender surgery.
Glad I don't live in that state anymore.
Utah bans conversion therapy on LGBTQ children as rule goes into effect. Utah. A rule banning conversion therapy at LGBT children has gone into effect, making Utah the 19th state to ban the practice. See, they're not the first state to do this. But you can't cancel a child against being a homosexual. Governor Gary Herbert's office confirmed to Fox 11 that the administrative rule went into effect on Tuesday night. The governor's office declined to comment any further on it. Conversion therapy is a widely discredited practice that seeks to change someone's sexual orientation or gender identity. Under the rules, psychologists and therapists in Utah who practice it could lose their license. A ban in Utah has been a long and winding road. Last year, the legislature took up a proposed ban sponsored by Representative Greg Hall, Republican from West Valley City, but the bill was modified by social conservatives on Capitol Hill to the point that it could not support its own legislation anyway. It passed, and he said the word said other conservative states will soon follow. Other conservative states will soon follow this.
Well, the governor of Virginia just signed into law that any parent that counsels their child against conversion, how they call it, conversion counseling, the same thing, is considered child abuse and a child can be removed from the home. If the counsel that child said you can't be, if you're a boy, you're going to be a boy. You can't be a girl.
We're going to do start a lesson next hour, which I'll not get finished. I know 1 hour. It's entitled "The Moral Duty to Be Armed," and we're going. And all this I've been sharing with you right here, all this and this too, is proof that we're going to come to blows. Mm-hmm. True.
Yep.
I'll cover this information in the next hour. But the Bible says the weapons of warfare are not carnal, and that's true. But they manifest themselves in the carnal. Mm-hmm. What's inside a man's heart comes out of his flesh. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you're an adulterer in your heart, guess what's going to be on the outside? So we got to understand this. I'll get more detail in just a minute. But we're going to show a clip. We're going to show a clip here in just a minute. Phil's got it of Trump's pastor.
No, which?
Yeah, well, which? Yeah.
Yeah.
Calls herself pastor. Her name is White. This is a picture right here. You're going to see this on video in just a minute. What she is, what she does. This is Trump's. She is on the staff in Trump's White House.
She's a senior advisor.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Think about this now. First off, they don't make women pastors, not godly women pastors. There's no such thing. One preacher. I know I get off track with it. Really, I don't care. You show me the Bible where it is, and I'll correct myself and say I'm sorry. Otherwise, shut up. Is that fair enough? Mm-hmm. If I hurt your feelings, you're my handkerchief. So anyway, we'll watch that just a minute. After you watch the clip, we're going to come back and we're going to start a lesson I think you want to hear. I'm going to take my time to go through it. When this lesson is finally finished, no one listen to us who is willing to receive the truth that can deny that you have a moral duty to arm yourselves before God. It is not an option. It's not a right. It's a duty. Right can be laid aside. Duties cannot if you serve Christ. Is that fair enough? Back in a little bit.
Wherever I go, God rules. When I walk on White House grounds, God walks on White House grounds. I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy.
To say no to President Trump would be saying no to God. And I won't do that.
We are in a spiritual war right now. Let every demonic network that has aligned itself against the purpose, against the calling of President Trump, let it be broken, let it be torn down in the name of Jesus.
You want me to tell you what my thoughts are? The thoughts of the King of Kings, the thoughts of the Lord of Lords. I'm downloading heaven. Hey! I kind of know I'm a little bit cute, all right?
I am Paula, who is pretty. Well, maybe I'm not going to be pretty when I'm 90 years old. Here's this former messed up Mississippi girl who lived in a trailer that they called trailer trash. Daddy committed suicide, got pregnant out of wedlock, been married, been divorced, not just once, twice.
People go, well, how'd you become the spiritual advisor of the president? We'll get to that later. It's all in there. Michael Jackson, Kid Rock, the president, it's all in there, all right?
Thank you, Paula. What a great job you do. The evangelicals, I hear we're more popular than ever with the evangelicals. You're the only one, and she'll tell the truth. She'll only tell the truth.
Southern California is looking at well, there's already law that's passed through the governor that says the Bible is a book of hate speech and to ban the sale of it. Snapchat was created as the largest human trafficking because the greatest people on there were human traffickers because the FBI and because intelligence could not do it because it's live and it's real time and they can track your kid in less than a second and take them. There's a Department of Treasury in heaven that God is watching over everything you do, and you are storing up eternal treasure that will go so far beyond, I think, that we can even begin to imagine. You need to send in $3,500. You need to send in $35,000. You need to send in that $100,000 check. If you do not write that P.O. box and you do not call that toll-free number and you do not become a ministry of sustainer, you will never see sustainment in your life, and your dream will die, your call will die.
Here he is, the nominee. That has to be providence. That has to be the hand of God, in my opinion.
And any tongue that rises against him will be condemned according to the word of God. It is God that raises up a king. It is God that sets one down. And so when you fight against the plan of God, you're fighting against the hand of God. If we get two more, we will be able to overturn demonic laws and decrees that has held this nation in captivity.
I can tell you that our president is doing absolutely phenomenal, that he is in great health every way.
Huge history buff. It's like he understands that which has been is that which will be.
Thank you for your courageous and bold stand for religious liberty and for your timeless service to all Americans. We appreciate the price that you have paid. To walk in the high calling, history will record the greatness that you have brought for generations.
And so you sit back and go, well, yeah, but she crazy. She up there, suppose she up there in the White House praying. You better believe I'm praying. You better believe I'm up there saying in the name of Jesus. You better believe that I'm walking around those parameters saying I lift this up and I dedicate every ounce of this place as holy ground. I release angels right now in the Holy Spirit and walls of fire. I burn up every demonic altar in the name of Jesus and I call it to crumble. Hey!
Where are we going, dude?
That way.
That way. Okay. We're in the Willow Lawn. How was it? Was it pretty good?
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
You from Virginia?
Yeah.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Gentlemen, I want to say thanks for supporting Virginia. Thank you for supporting Virginia, because if we fall, we'd all. You got late.
Well, we went to the Diamond. The bus.
Oh,
We saw that line, and that's why I just kept driving.
Yeah,
and the Lord was good. We got a parking lot close.
okay.
Yeah, we saw that line going.
That's what we did. We just.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
West Virginia put out a board to the legislators that Virginia counties don't want to stay in Virginia, they come into West Virginia.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah. So we're going to be a, what do you call it, state, Second Amendment sanctuary.
there you go. Yeah, well.
Our county already is.
Are you folks with the Virginia Citizens Defense League?
Not officially, no.
Okay. In West Virginia, it's a good organization.
Yeah.
West Virginia. Civil, Citizens Defense,
Yeah.
So.
And you know the thing, and you all probably know this. This is far more than just gun rights.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's just the tip of the
This is the
iceberg.
tip, absolutely. And you know, I was telling him and my wife, years ago, you remember Obama in California said about guns and Bibles, we towed on those?
Yeah.
That was a trigger man right there. Yeah.
He was there for a reason.
Take away our religious rights, our gun rights, and you got this country.
That's right.
Too many ignorant people out there falling for this left
That's
nonsense.
the only reason we haven't been attacked yet, because there'd be a gun behind every tree.
Yes,
They couldn't defeat us.
I agree.
That's true.
I really believe that.
Yeah, I believe that too.
They can't defeat us.
That's right.
I got 50 guns in my gun cabinet.
No, we didn't get close enough ourselves to
didn't get
hear
close
that.
enough. We packed coming in too and realized.
So you didn't go inside
No.
the fence?
We
got as
couldn't
close
have.
as we could. Okay.
Because
Did you hear of anything bad going on?
No.
Nowhere.
If anybody
There's
says
nothing
there's
bad
anything
going-
bad, we
it's
never
not
seen
true.
it, heard
It
it.
is not true.
And there was more than 100 people here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something.
I can tell you a lot of them were back there at Diamond Field. They never made it.
Oh, yeah, we
that's
saw
such
that
a
line.
shame.
That's what-
Oh, that was huge.
Yeah, we came in off the highway and drove up.
And drove
I
right
said,
past.
Man, I said,
Look at
look
that
at
line.
that line.
Yeah.
One bus, there must have been 20 bus loads of folks. I said, we're never going to get on.
Yeah, that's right.
So we came straight
We
up
came
here.
straight up here, yeah.
Drove around 5 minutes and found the spot. God bless us. We got a spot
a
up
woman
on
pulled
here.
out, and I was able to pull in.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
sweet.
so-
Yeah, it was great.
Great.
Well, again, thanks for
Okay.
coming,
Thank you
fellas.
for coming, guys.
Thanks
Yes,
thanks
sir.
for all you're doing.
Y'all have a good one.
Yes, indeed.
Thousands of people, and I don't know how many, but the streets were packed from all the way across, and inside the cage it was packed.
Inside.
Oh yeah, so it was really
Did you
good.
get inside?
I didn't want to go inside. I just, I had planned to go lobby, and then I realized my representative's a newly elected Democrat, so it's like, why bother? And I didn't want to get inside with all the lines. There's one way in, 3 ways out. And if, God forbid, something bad had happened, right.
I had heard they were going to limit how many could go in. Is that what they did?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I doubt it, because we never heard of any numbers.
Okay.
And, I don't know. I didn't hear anything saying it was limited. They surely couldn't limit on the outside. And there were thousands of people, heavily armed people out there. And not only was it peaceful, people are picking up the trash as they're walking away.
But at least let's see what the news media says.
Yeah, we'll see what
Oh,
the media
my
does.
daughter called and said, well, the news just said there's an uprising in Virginia. And then she added of thousands of activists. And it's like, you know what? I'll take that. Bye-bye.
All right. How was it?
Crowded, but yeah.
I'm filming. That's all.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people didn't get there.
Yeah. It took us we didn't realize it was just going to take us 2 hours to get maybe just a mile.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw a lot of people didn't make
Thank
it.
you. It makes a point on how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
We drove 4
Yeah.
Public hope that this is a demonstration here today that's been very peaceful. This is a demonstration here that has shown that an armed society is a polite society, and that the only way to defeat a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. So, yeah, we just have to. Our fathers were such brave and thoughtful men, and the wisdom that came from that revolution in the form of the Constitution is a document from God Himself. So,
Thank you, sir.
you're very welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
What's your name?
Jesse,
Thank you, Jesse.
you're welcome. Safe trip home.
Thank you. You too. Yeah, but I was a bit late, unfortunately. Yeah. Is it done or?
What's France 24?
It's a French international news TV.
Really?
Yeah.
So you here with the sign?
Yep. Ohio State flag. Am I what?
Yep. Let's go across.
Some stories I dread bringing to the public's attention because they're so dark and dirty and evil. And then there are some stories that just bring a smile to my face. And that's one of these stories. Pack your bags, Virginia. It's moving day. Hi, everybody. My name is Dave Hodges. I'm the host of The Common Sense Show, and we are the show that is freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. And we are brought to you by Trade Genius Academy. And I'll tell you, we're closing in on the end of this great sale, and I don't want to see people miss the opportunity. I can tell you that the money to be made there is there, and people are doing it. It's hard to lose money with Trade Genius. 3-step approach: education with guidance, guidance to invest, proprietary software that says buy, sell, or hold. It's fantastic. It really is. And right now, You can get started in phase 1 with the non-bundled education items. That's where most of your expense will come in for getting involved at 40% off. Use the coupon code WINTER at tradelikeagenius.com. The link and all the information is in the description box. It's moving day, baby. Pack your bags, Virginia. Unless you're a mentally ill liberal, you are moving to West Virginia. Or it seems, Governor Justice. What a great name for a governor. He was on Fox this morning. Paul Preston called me. Says, Dave, you got to see this. I turned it on. We kind of watched it together for about 30 seconds. And Governor Justice said, you people need to know that you're entitled to constitutional protections. You will have those in Virginia. Organize your counties and get the hell over here right now. Boom. It's like New California. That's going to happen too. Boom. People are saying, I want to live where the liberals are. This is awesome. I am so proud of West Virginia. It's such a great state. And then Jerry Falwell Jr. came out, president of Liberty University. Great university, great Christian tradition, great education. They're there together saying, come on in. We are going to be loyal and true to the Constitution because that's what Americans do. I don't think I was ever more proud to be an American in that moment when I was watching them throw Virginia a lifeline and say, you don't have to put up with this abuse. We're here. We're Americans. We take care of our own. God bless those two men. God bless West Virginia. And God bless the people in Virginia who have the courage to stand up to this communist dictator, Governor Northam. Take them up on their offer. Get yourselves organized. What you all need is a Paul Preston that can get you going, kick you in the butt, know how to do all the administrative stuff. That's Paul. He's the best I know at administrating. Of course, he used to be a principal. He used to be a superintendent. So he knows how to do all that stuff. You guys in Virginia need to find your Paul Preston, and you need to realize your destiny. You need to change history to where there might be some Democratic states, but they're ruling over a real small group of people. That's it for the Common Sense Show. Thank you for joining us. Please share this far and wide. We'd ask that you become part of our Patreon movement. We're expanding our operations. We're going to expand to live coverage of some events, but we need your help to do that. And we're good stewards of your money. Thank you so much for your support. See you back here in the next broadcast.